before, if you've got something like a strap, yoga strap, scarf, belt, you may need that when we get moving a little bit later. All right, so we're going to start lying down on our backs. Good, getting yourself comfy. If your low back is tight, maybe having a little slight bend in the knees to get started. Getting yourself settled in there. I'm just kind of feeling the floor underneath you. I'm feeling the support of that. Feet can be about hip width distance apart or wider, just so that, you know, you really feel like you're relaxing. You're not holding yourself in this position. And then maybe arms by the side, palms up. And take a slow, deep breath in through the nose, and then just open your mouth and exhale, let it go. So I swear Casey wasn't a plant when I just asked what she wanted to work on. But we are going to do some kind of a different approach to our sun salutations and the repetitive movements that we do in our yoga practice, because they oftentimes lead to discomfort and tension in shoulders, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands. And I think a lot more people have been experiencing that as they've had to change daily activities. I know a lot of people that have really nice ergonomic setups at their office don't have that. You know, they're on a kitchen table or whatever. So we kind of started this last week where we're doing our vinyasas in the middle of our sun salutations a little bit different. So we're going to do a different one today. And that really focuses on kind of finding good, healthy alignment of the arms in these activities so that we don't end up with tension. While you're lying on the ground, maybe take a moment, set an intention for yourself for this practice. What do you need to get out of this time that you've carved out for yourself? Kind of making sure you really let yourself take all of this time. You know, it's just an hour. So I like to set an intention that is, you know, really strong and kind of grounding. So every time I catch my brain leaving the yoga mat, moving on to the next activity of the day, or worrying about the thing that I didn't do yesterday, that intention is an anchor that pulls back in and says, okay, no, you set aside this time. You're not thinking about that right now. You give whatever that little alarm that keeps going off in your head, or that little thought, you acknowledge it, and then you say, I'll get to you later. This is my time. Okay. Take another big deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale, let it out with a sigh. And when you exhale, you're going to stretch your arms out overhead. So we're kind of getting nice and long here. You're going to pick up your right foot and move it about 1.5 feet or so over to the right. And then pick up your left foot and cross your left ankle over your right ankle. Then you're going to take your right hand and you're going to grab hold of your left wrist. And you're going to kind of pull your arms over to the right. So all of a sudden you're in this big arch, like a banana-like shape. Feet and hands to the right, where the hips just kind of stayed where they started. Notice if that left hip rolls up. I want you to anchor that left hip down towards the ground. And take a big deep breath, expanding those left side ribs especially. Notice where you feel stretch here. Take another one of those big breaths. Notice where you feel some action, where you feel some work here. Which one is stronger? That stretch feeling or that work feeling? Just notice that. You're going to keep your feet where you are, but I want you to change the lineup of your feet. So put the right ankle over the left ankle, but your feet are still out to the right. And notice where you feel stretch. Maybe that changes that stretch. Might be easier to keep the left hip anchoring towards the floor. Big deep breath in here, left ribs expand. Exhale, let that breath out. Good, come back to center, uncross the legs, just stretch them both out long, stretch the arms out long. And then we're gonna pick up left leg, take the left foot over to the left about a foot, foot and a half, and then cross right ankle over left ankle. Left hand is grabbing the right wrist and kind of pulling the hands over to the left. So now we're again in that big arch shape. Maybe notice if that right hip feels like it's kind of rolling up. Anchor it towards the ground. And take a few breaths here. And you're paying attention again, noticing where you feel that stretch sensation, where you feel the work sensation. Maybe switch the lineup of the ankle. So now right heel is on the ground, left ankle crosses over right. Big deep breath, breathe into the right side. One more stretch. And then go ahead, release the hands and the legs, and let's hug them into center. Come into a nice tight little ball. Maybe take a little rock on your spine, side to side or front to back. We're just gonna make our way up to sit. Coming into whatever's a comfortable seat for you. So you can have your legs crossed or have them out to the side. Actually, I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see me. You can take your right arm out to the side and you're gonna take your right thumb and turn it so it points towards the ground. And then you're gonna sweep that arm behind your back as if you're being arrested. I'm sure none of you have. So then you're gonna take your left hand, go find your right wrist and pull it a little bit past center. So you're just kind of seeing how far you can get that right hand over to the left with force of the left arm. And then once you got that, relax that right shoulder down. Feel like there's an anchor kind of coming out of that right elbow, pulling it towards the ground. But you might still keep that left hand hugging or pulling that right wrist. Some of you might actually be able to lock onto your left elbow. Wherever you are, feel like there's a weight. Drop that shoulder towards the ground and then drop your chin towards the notch of your throat. Good. In this position, I want you to take a really big breath. And when you inhale, feel the back of the rib cage expand and kind of push into the arms and then exhale. Do that again. Big breath in, back of the rib cage expands, presses into that arm. Exhale, let it out. Good. And then go ahead and look over your left shoulder. Right elbow's dropping towards the ground. Big deep breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Good, release that arm. Let's take the right arm out in front. Fingertips up. And just take your left hand and kind of pull those fingertips back towards your head. Try not to lock out the elbow. You're like a little bit of a bend. Shoulder drops down and just kind of pull those fingers back. Notice where you feel stretch here. And then you might even kind of shift them a little bit left to right, and then you'll feel that stretch move in other parts of the forearm. Good. Same thing, you're just going to turn your fingers down. Use that left hand, pull back. Maybe the front of the forearm is getting a little more stretch. Again, be careful not to lock out that elbow. Couple of breaths here. I know I've mentioned before, my quarantine project was learning how to play tennis. So I've acquired a tennis elbow. I'm still not very good at tennis. As my husband will tell you. Big deep breath in. And then exhale, go ahead, release that right arm. We're gonna go to the left. So left arm out to the side. Rotate the arm in the shoulder socket. Left thumb points down. Sweep that arm behind your back. Right hand then finds the left wrist, and you just kind of pull it as far behind you as you go, like you're dragging somebody where you don't want to go. And then once that hand gets as far over as you can get it, then relax that left shoulder. Feel like there's an anchor, kind of pulling the left elbow down. You can keep holding your right wrist the same way, or some of you might be able to just kind of hook on to the elbow. From here, chin towards the notch of the throat, and then pay attention to your breathing and really feel it in the back of the ribs. Inhale, they expand. So then as they expand, the ribs press into the forearm. It might give you a little bit of a different shoulder stretch. Exhale, let the breath out to relax. Do that again. Inhale. Big deep breath. Feel it expand. Exhale, let the breath out. Good. Now you're going to look over your right shoulder. Left elbow keeps dropping down. Look right. Good. Take a big deep breath in here. And then exhale, release. Release the arms. Maybe give them a little shake. We're going to do left hand out, left fingertips up. Just take the right hand. Help give that hand a stretch. Try not to lock out that left elbow. Elbows dropping down, shoulders dropping down. As you pull the fingers back, maybe you do a little bit of side-to-side movement in the fingers. And that'll change kind of where that stretch hits. Do the same thing. Turning the hand down. And maybe a little movement side to side. Just kind of see how that changes where that stretch sensation is on the top of the arm. Good. Go ahead, just roll out your wrists a little bit. And then we're going to come to hands and knees. Actually, I'm going to kind of face you at a little bit of an angle so you can see all this. All right, so we're starting. Let's do one more forearm stretch, the least popular one. You're going to turn your fingertips back on the right hand towards the right knee, and then just kind of drop the back of that hand on the floor. Try to spread your fingertips out nice and wide. Bend your elbow just a smidge, and then roll your elbows, or roll your shoulders, your elbows moving back towards your knee. And then see if you can lean back a little. That lean back might be like 1 inch. It might be 1 centimeter. This is a lot. Good. Take a big deep breath in here. As you exhale, think about your shoulder blades sliding down to your right back pocket. Good. And then go ahead, lift that hand. Give it a little movement. We'll go right to the other side. Left fingertips pointing back towards the knee. So your palm is facing up. Relax. Try not to lock out that arm. Rotate the shoulder a little so it's like you're drawing the elbow back in space, and then see if you can shift back. Wow, I've got way more movement on this arm than the other arm. So you might find that too. But one feels pretty easy and open, and the other one feels like some form of torture. Good. One more breath here. And then go ahead, take that arm up. Roll that wrist around. And we're going to come down, still on your knees. Come down onto your elbows. So kind of like we're doing a little Sphinx pose. And I want you to do your cat-cow in this shape. So elbows are on the ground, hands are on the ground. You're going to take a big deep breath in, chest forward, tailbone back. So we arch the spine. And then as you exhale, tuck your tailbone under, lift your belly up, look your head back, round your spine. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Good, just keep doing that with your breath. Inhale, arch the spine, look up, butt up. Exhale, round the spine, use the abdominal muscles, use the glutes. So the point here is when we do this on, a regular cat-cow, there's a lot of wiggle in the arms. Here, when we have the arms on the ground, we're really putting the true range of motion into our shoulders. And we want to feel sensation. Notice if one feels really smooth and the other one feels kind of rickety. That happens too. I guess rickety isn't a good word to use when describing a yoga practice, but it's true sometimes. All right, from here, you're going to slink yourself forward. Come down onto your belly. I'm going to make sure you can see me here. Little Sphinx pose. Elbows on the ground. Press the elbows down. Press the hands down. Pull the shoulder blades back in space. Just take a big deep breath in here. And then open your mouth. Exhale, let that breath out. Okay, this is the little pattern we're going to lay down. We're going to do this series of movements a couple times today. Come all the way down. Forehead towards the floor. Excuse me. You're going to walk your fingertips out in front of you. And you're going to kind of be on your fingertips. My hands are about as wide as my shoulders, maybe a tiny bit wider. And they're not quite all the way stretched out, so my shoulders are jacked up by my ears. You want to be able to pull your shoulders back, kind of pull your elbows back. You're going to put your forehead on the ground.
Lift your elbows up towards the sky, and then pull your elbows back in space, like you're trying to do a pull-up on a bar. Elbows are moving towards your back pockets. Inhale, you're gonna lift your chest, bend your head up off the ground. And then you're gonna exhale, put yourself back down on the floor. We're gonna take those hands, we're gonna move them one handprint in, top to the bottom, and then out to the side, lengthwise. So now I've got a little more room for bend in my elbows. I'm putting my forehead down. I'm gonna pull those elbows back. Elbows moving towards your back pockets. Inhale, chest, then head, come up. Exhale, put yourself back on the ground. We're gonna move those hands in, one handprint, length top to bottom. Out to the side, one more handprint widthwise. Put your forehead on the ground. Pull those elbows back in space. Push into the floor. Inhale, chest, then head. Exhale, put yourself back down on the ground. One more. By now, your hands should probably be right in line with your shoulders. They're out wide to the side. You're gonna rotate the arms and the shoulder sockets so that the elbows pull back in space. Elbows towards your back pockets. Inhale, chest, then head. Exhale, put yourself back down on the ground. You're coming back into that Sphinx pose. If that didn't make any sense to anybody, unmute for a moment and tell me. Because that's the one that we're going to do a couple times. And the point is really kind of activating this muscle line from the outside of the shoulder. I call it like, you know, the kind of the area that might fall out of the side of your brow strap, all the way into your shoulder blades. So we're creating a lot of stability around the shoulder blades. And again, feel free to interrupt if that didn't make sense. So now we're in our Sphinx pose. Elbows on the ground. Same action as you push down, pull those shoulders back so we feel all of those muscles start to work. You're gonna curl your toes under, keep your knees on the ground, lift your belly up. So it's like a little tiny plank with your elbows on the ground, with your knees on the ground, really feeling those abdominal muscles work. Take a big deep breath in here. Exhale. One more big deep breath in. You wanna feel this more on your belly than on your back. And then from here, we're just gonna walk our hands back, take a quick little child pose. Big deep breath into the back of the body. Exhale, let it go. Good, from here, we're gonna pop back up to hands and knees. Bend those elbows a little bit. Feel like they can point towards your legs, not out to the side. Again, we're gonna activate this kind of line on the outside of the shoulder, press up into a downward facing dog. First one of the morning probably, so go ahead and pedal out your feet a little bit, like you're marching. Heels don't have to touch the ground. Just think, how far can I get my butt away from my hands to stretch out the backs of the legs? And then from here, you're gonna take a little walk. Walk your feet up to the top of your mat. Soft bend in the knees, let your head hang heavy. Maybe give it a little rock side to side. Rock the arms a little. And then from here, roll yourself all the way up to stand. Oh, there goes my head. Coming to find a mountain pose, top of the mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, hold yourself forward. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale, lengthen your spine, lift your chest. Exhale, we're gonna step the left foot back, come into a nice deep lunge. Feet should be about hip width distance apart so that you've got some stability. Left hip pulls forward, right hip pulls back. We bring our hands to our hips, coming into a high lunge. Left hip forward, right hip back. That'll get those inner thighs working. Try to stay long in the torso here. We don't want to overly arch. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Just like when we were laying on the ground, right hand's gonna grab the left wrist. You're gonna take a side bend over to the right. So we're getting a big stretch through that left side. Left hip keeps pulling forward, right hip keeps pulling back. So those hips are working while we stretch to the upper body. Inhale, come up. Exhale, we're gonna twist. Left hand forward, right hand back in space. Don't let those hips move. Just feel how far you can reach your hands out. Good, take a big deep breath in here. Exhale, we're gonna come back to our regular lunge. Hands on the hips. You're gonna lean into that right foot and you're gonna come up to stand and you're gonna catch your left knee. Good. If you feel wobbly, try to spread the weight across the ball of that right foot and then across the inside and the outside of the heel. And of course, if you still feel wobbly, put your hand on something. Grab a wall, grab a chair. Big deep breath in here. Turn sideways so you can see. You're going to take that left ankle, cross it over your right knee, and then pretend you're sitting back into the chair. Kind of got my hands on my thighs here. Pushing down just a little bit, that's going to help the stretch through the outside of that left hip. Good. From here, you're coming back up the stand. Hug that left knee into your chest again. Exhale, we're going to step it back into our lunge. This time we're bringing hands to the floor. The right hand is going to go inside that right knee. And let's bring the left knee down onto the ground. Lift your chest, lengthen your spine. So you're kind of pulling your upper body out of your lower body. We're going to try to keep that left leg still and just exhale, let the right knee drop out to the side and then pull it in. Drop it out to the side and then pull it in. Do that one more time. Drop that knee out to the side. Go ahead, pull it in. We're going to pick up the back knee. Step back to a nice big plank. Take a breath in here. And then exhale, come all the way down to the floor. We're going to do that little shoulder exercise again. So you're starting. By the way, I'll accept applications for a good name for this exercise. I don't have one yet. Hands are going to be about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit wider. Not quite as far as you can go, but in just a little bit, so you got room to move. Elbows to the floor. No, not elbows, this is your forehead. Forehead to the floor, elbows to the sky. Kind of feel that action of pulling them up and then pull them back. Push your fingertips into the floor. Inhale, chest, then head. Exhale, put yourself back down on the ground. We're gonna walk those hands in, one handprint lengthwise, out to the side, one widthwise. Forehead to the floor so that the neck is relaxed. Pull those elbows back. Feel your shoulder blades slide back down towards your hips. Inhale, chest, then head. Exhale, put yourself on the ground. Walk those hands in, one handprint lengthwise, out to the side widthwise. Pull your elbows back. Pull your shoulder blades back. Inhale, big deep breath, chest up, then head up, look up. All right, one more space. You should have your hands kind of right in line with the shoulders. Pull those elbows back, push into the ground. Inhale, chest, then head. Exhale, put yourself back down onto the ground. We're going to bring one elbow, then the other, coming into our Sphinx pose. From Sphinx, pull those elbows back, pull the shoulders back, push your knees into the ground, just lift your belly. Tiny little lift. Push those knees into the floor, push those toes into the floor. So you really feel the legs doing some work, helping to support the abdominal muscles. Good, you're gonna take a big deep breath in here. And then exhale, we're gonna push into the floor, shift ourselves back, child pose. Check in. Make sure your back doesn't feel like it was doing too much work. If when you come into this, you feel like your back was working, you're gonna work on maybe finding a little more abdominal activation in that plank. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, we're gonna do the other side. So you're gonna pick up your left foot, step your left foot all the way up to the top of the mat, coming into a lunge. Right hip pulls forward, left hip pulls back, hands on your hips. Do that again. Right hip forward, left hip back, and then nice long spine. Not this, this. So the more we keep that long, the better stretch you're gonna get through this right hip. Arms are going up. Left hand grabs the right wrist. Take that little side bend over to the left. My right hip keeps driving forward. My left hip is dropping down and pulling back. And maybe you can get your hands to move back a little closer to that right, your right heel. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, we're gonna twist this time. Right hand forward, left hand back. As your left hand is going back, your left hip is going back. Right hand's forward, right hip's forward. Good, take a big deep breath in here. Exhale, we're going hands to the ground inside that left foot. So you might heel toe it out to the side a little bit. We're gonna bring the back. Oh my gosh, I forgot something. We're coming back up, everybody. You forgot your balance. Nobody reminded me. From here, left leg's forward, right leg behind. You're gonna come up, hug that right knee into your chest. Balance. Keep that left knee kind of soft. Spread weight across the ball of the left foot, both sides of the heel. And then we'll do that little switch. Right ankle over left knee. Really carefully press down into your legs. Sit your butt back like you're sitting in a chair. Yep. And the more you push your hips back and bring your chest forward, usually the better stretch you're going to get through the outside of that right leg. Come back up to center, hug that knee in. Exhale, step that leg back. Hands on the inside of the left foot. Now we're doing that lizard lunge. Right knee to the ground. Extend your spine, lift your chest. And then you're going to go in and out with that left knee. Good, so the right leg stays still. The left knee goes out and in. Out and in. Good, do 3 more of those with your breath. Give myself a little more room here. And then go ahead, lift that back knee. We're gonna step the back leg forward. Come into a forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, prayer hands, just take a pause here. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands on your shin. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, let's step that left foot back. Again, finding that lunge. Left hip pulls back in space. Right hip pulls forward. Hands on the hips. Good. Getting into a rhythm, kind of adding on a little bit each time. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, we're going to bend the elbows. Grab hold of opposite elbows and try to have your left forearm on top of your right forearm. Get really long in the spine. Take that little side bend here. So I'm dropping my right elbow towards the floor. My left elbow goes up towards the sky. My hips and my legs aren't going anywhere because that's where my stability is. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, we're going to twist again. Left arm forward, right hand behind. If you want to get deeper into that twist, we're going to do left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Find prayer hands. See how deeply you can twist here. Take a big deep breath in, extend the spine. Exhale, see if you've got any more room to move. Good, then we're going to unwind. Bring hands to the hips, don't fall over. Come up to stand. Hug that left knee into your chest. Good, from here, again, we're going to do that little cross. Left ankle over right knee. Getting low here. You might get even lower and do those little prayer hands and rest them on that left shin. Wherever you are, butt back, chest forward. If you feel like you're falling all over the place, grab a wall, grab the floor. More important today is really just, we're focusing on that stretch through the outer hip. Extend the spine. Good, come on back up to stand. Hug the knee in. Exhale, we'll step that leg back. Come into our lizard lunge again. So we're doing right foot on the outside of the right hand. Lift your chest, lengthen your spine. You can stay up tall. Some of you might be able to bring your elbows towards the floor. Gonna be in this space. Take 3 breaths, wherever it feels comfortable. That back knee can always go down. So back up is good, or knee up is gonna be a little more strengthening. This is probably gonna be a deeper hip stretch with that knee on the ground. Take 1 more breath wherever you are. And then we're gonna push our back knee up, come back up onto your hands, high plank, come all the way to the floor. Let's run through that little exercise. Again, contest for who can name it. Fingertips on the floor, hands reach out long, bend those elbows a little, pull them back in space. Shoulder blades hug the rib cage. Inhale, lift chest and head. Exhale, come back to the ground. Walk those hands in. Elbows lift up, then we pull them back. Inhale, chest, then head. Exhale, come down to the ground. Hands are in one handprint lengthwise. Out to the side widthwise. Elbows pull back in space. Hug those shoulder blades onto the ribs. Inhale, chest and head. Exhale, come to the ground. Last position should be kind of right in line with the shoulders. Pull those elbows back. Hug the shoulder blades onto the ribs. Inhale, chest, then head. Exhale, come down, find your Sphinx pose. Elbows are on the ground, shoulders pull back, heart is open. We're gonna curl the toes. Lift the hips up, coming into that knee down, forearm plank. So you can stay with this knee down, forearm plank for the rest of the time. It will be this, push back to child pose, and then meet us in downward dog. If you want a little extra challenge, we're gonna do knees up in that forearm plank. You're gonna take a big deep breath in here. Walk your toes towards your elbows, so you're in a dolphin pose. From this dolphin pose, we're gonna push into the floor. Exhale, lift the elbows, downward dog. So everybody's meeting in downward dog here. Take a big deep breath in. We gotta do the other side. Lift the left foot, bring it forward. Left foot between the hands. Come into that high lunge. Left hip pulling back, right hip pulling forward. This is where your stability is. Inhale, sweep the arms up. We're gonna bend the elbows, grab opposite elbows. So this time you're gonna have right forearm on top of left forearm. Pull that right hip forward, left hip back. Take your little side bend over to the left. Think about your left elbow dropping towards the floor so that we get a nice stretch through the right shoulder towards the right elbow. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, twist. Right hand forward, left hand back. Stay tall or go into that prayer twist. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Left hand presses down. Look up. Breathe. Whichever twist you're in, think about the inhale as an opportunity to lengthen the spine and kind of strengthen the legs. And the exhale might give you a little more space to twist. Take a big deep breath in here. And then exhale, unwind. We're coming back to center. I won't forget it on this side. You're gonna ground into that left leg. Come forward. Right ankle over left knee. I'm sorry, hug it in first. I jinxed myself. Then cross it over. And again, you're just kind of sitting your hips back, reaching your chest forward. Stay up here. Or maybe you can do those prayer hands, kind of rest your elbows into your shin. Don't fall over. Good, hold on to something if you feel wobbly. And then we're gonna come up, hug that knee in. Exhale, step it back. Bring hands to the floor inside that left knee. All right, so we're keeping the left leg still on this one, but we've got a lot of options. Right knee can go down, right knee can come up. You can come down onto your forearms. You can do forearms with knee up or knee down. Get into a space where you can take 3 more easy, comfortable breaths. And then go ahead, bring your forearms up, or bring your hands to the ground. Lift that back knee. And we're gonna step up to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Big deep breath in here. Exhale, roll yourself all the way up, sweep the arms up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, fold right back over. Bring your hands to your shin. Inhale, lengthen your spine. This time we're gonna exhale, just step back, high plank. Breath in here. And then you're gonna exhale, come all the way to the floor. We're doing our fun exercise. I would hope that at some time over the next, say, like 2 or 3 days, you're gonna feel really fatigued in here and sore from working these muscles, and you're gonna think of me. Fingertips on the floor, forehead on the floor. Lift those elbows, then pull them back in space. Feel those shoulder blades hug onto the ribs. Inhale, chest, then head. Exhale, put yourself back on the ground. Walk those hands in, 1 hand print, top to bottom, out to the side, 1 more hand print. Elbows up, pull them back, push into the floor. Inhale, chest, then head. By the way, my legs aren't doing anything here. They're just kind of hanging out.
pressing into the floor.
When I get towards maybe the last two, my bottom ribs come up, but they don't necessarily for everyone. Sometimes when you push up too high, those shoulders come forward. As long as you can keep your shoulders rolling back, then go up as high as you can. Thanks for the question, Jenny. Elbows pull back. Lift up. I don't know where everybody is right now, so just make sure you do your last one. Hands line up with the shoulders, pull those elbows back, peel up, chest, then head. Okay, so we're going Sphinx pose. Curl the toes under, knees down, little tiny forearm plank. Really feel like your belly button is sucking up towards your spine. Knees and feet press into the ground, shoulders pull back. So you've got option one is from here to child's pose to downward dog. Option two, forearm plank, knees off the ground. Walk the feet forward, dolphin pose. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, can I get both elbows off the floor at the same time? Maybe, maybe not. So now we're all in downward dog. Good, take a big deep breath in here. Exhale, let it go with a sigh. Lift that right leg up. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, come on up, high lunge. From here, we're gonna put that back heel on the ground. Open up warrior two. Drop your shoulders down. Lengthen your spine, lift your chest up. Exhale, we're gonna straighten that right leg. Reach the right hand towards the top of the mat. Right hand's coming down. Shin the floor of the block. Take that left arm. Spin your left thumb so they point towards your back heel. Bring that left arm behind your back. Remember the beginning of practice, you're gonna do that little tug. Grab hold of your left wrist and see how far down you can get that left hand. Some of you might be able to hook that left hand into your right hip crease. Others, I just want you to get it as far as you can and then press the left hand or the left forearm into the low back. Roll those left shoulders back and take a big deep breath and really feel the ribs expand into the forearm. If your neck feels funky, look towards the ground. Big deep breath in here. We're keeping the left hand where it is. You're gonna bend the right knee. Inhale, reach the right hand up to the sky. Radiant warrior with that arm behind your back. And then exhale, bring your hands to the top of the mat. And you're gonna step the back foot forward. We're gonna come into another single leg balance. Hug that left knee into the chest. This time, I'm turning forward. Instead of going across, we're gonna go behind. So you're gonna see about catching your left ankle. This is where you might use a strap. If you're really tight and you've been sitting a lot, grab a strap. I want you to focus on hugging your two knees together, because as we tip forward, that knee is going to want to go out to the side. We're going to keep that knee hugging the inside line. If anybody wants extra shoulder stretch, you're going to hold the inside of that left foot. Good, nice and tall, big deep breath in. Start to pitch forward. Left knee goes back. Right hand might come forward. Some of you might not go very deep in this at all. I want you to think about staying long from your ribs to your hips to that back knee. Dancer pose. If you're wobbling all over the place, look at something that's not moving and hug those inner thighs towards one another. Big deep breath in, come back up to stand. Hug that knee into your chest. Exhale, put your foot down. You're probably at the top of your mat. I'm not, because I hop all over the place. Inhale, sweep the arms up. We got to do the whole other side. Exhale, fold. Hands on the shin. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Hands to the ground. Step back, high plank. Big deep breath here. Exhale, we're coming to the floor. Okay, last time. I think last time. Fingertips on the floor. Forehead on the floor. Lift those elbows up and then draw them back in space. Push into the floor. Inhale, chest, then head. Exhale, go down. Walk those hands in. One lengthwise, out to the side, one widthwise. Elbows pull up. Elbows pull back. Feel like your shoulder blades are kind of pushing against the outside of your ribs. Inhale, up, up. Exhale, down. Third spot. Almost to the end. Elbows pull up. Swing those elbows back. Inhale, chest. Then head. Exhale, come down. Hands line up with the shoulders. Elbows lift up. Pull those elbows back. Hug those shoulder blades onto the bottom ribs. Inhale, come up. Good. From here, we're going right into that Sphinx pose. Hands on the ground. Curl the toes. Knees on the ground. Little mini forearm plank. Belly's lifting. Especially if your low back feels like it's doing a lot of work. Think belly button and butt. Really kind of use those butt muscles, use those abdominal muscles, and decide which way you're going. Maybe it's back to child pose. Maybe it's to the full plank. We're all going to meet in downward dog. Walking our feet forward. Dolphin. Exhale. Downward dog. Inhale, right foot lifts. Nope, I lied. Inhale, left foot lifts. Exhale, bring that left foot all the way forward. Come into your high lunge. Good. Right hip comes forward, left hip comes back just for a breath. Feel that strength between the inner thighs. That's going to help with our dancer pose. And then turn, open, with that back heel on the ground. We're coming into our warrior two. Think about your right hip kind of moving towards your left hip. So the legs are really strong here. Create a stable base. These look great. Straighten that front leg. Lean forward, left hand's coming forward and then down. Right hand lifts up to the sky. Turn that right thumb so it's pointing towards your back foot. And then bring the arm behind your back. Okay, so you kind of scooch that arm as far as it can scooch. Then get some help. Take your left hand. See if you can pull that a little bit further. You don't want to yank, but sometimes when we're using the muscles, we can't get that far. So you kind of relax that left shoulder, right shoulder. See if the left hand can help out a little bit. And then you're putting that left hand as far as it can go. Maybe it, right there, hooks onto your hip, maybe not. Look up, or if that's a lot on your neck, look down. Think about the left shoulder pulling back in space. We're going to rebend that left knee, keeping the right hand where it is. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Big deep breath in here. Breathe through the left side ribs. And then exhale. Circle your hands to the top of the mat. Lift the back heel. Coming up to stand. Bringing that right knee with us. Good. And then from here, we're transitioning. We're bringing that right leg back. And you're grabbing hold of the foot or the ankle. Maybe use a strap here. For extra shoulder stretch, you can grab the inside. So, length, rib cage to pelvis to knee. You don't want to get too bendy here. We're getting really long, so we get a good stretch through the front of that right hip. If you've got the space, you're going to tip forward. Notice how I bend my knee as soon as I start that tipping process. As if this left knee is bent, that left butt is going to work a little bit harder instead of putting pressure on your low back. If you feel wobbly, try to look at something that's not moving. Squeeze the inner thighs together. And take a big deep breath in here. And then exhale, push into that floor to come back up to stand. Hug the knee in. Put both feet onto the ground. Mountain pose. Lift the toes up. Give them a little wiggle. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold yourself forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, hands to the ground. Step one, put them the other back. High plank. Big deep breath in here. Exhale, low plank. Not low plank. Go all the way to the floor. We're going to take our right arm, bring it out to the side. So palm is about in line with the shoulder. You can see that or not? Okay. I have a little soft bend in my elbow, and then I'm bringing my elbow towards the ground. My left hand is on the floor, pressing in. I'm going to push into that left hand, lift my left leg, inhale, sweep it back behind me, and then exhale, come back to my starting position. Think about a really big sweep. Inhale, lift that left foot way up. Exhale, sweep it behind you. Back to center. Inhale, way up. Exhale back to center. Did this last time. We're gonna inhale, lift it up, sweep it around, stay here. You can keep your left hand for support, or you can lift that left arm up, maybe drop it behind you. That's gonna really increase the stretch on this inside line of the right arm, maybe all the way to the right forearm. Some people can grab their hands back behind them. I'm not one of those some people. So see what you can find back there. Wherever you are, wherever you get to, the deepest part, then I want you to take a really big breath and feel your ribs expand, especially the right ribs, kind of feeling them expand into the floor. And then you're gonna exhale, come back to the other side. I'm gonna turn around so you can see. Left arm is out, left arm's on the ground. Right hand presses into the floor. By the way, you're keeping the left side of your head on the ground. Inhale, right leg lifts up. Exhale, sweep it behind. Back to center. Inhale, lift it up. Nice, big, huge breath in till that lands. And then exhale back to center. 2 more of those. Inhale, big breath, open up. Exhale, center. 1 more time, open up, stay here. Keep the right hand for support, or lift it up. And drop that right arm behind you. Palm faces up. Imagine you're carrying something. As you kind of let that right arm go back, that's going to increase that stretch line through the front of the left arm. You might be able to hold hands with yourself. For a little extra forearm stretch, you might even kind of flex that left wrist a bit there. Wherever you are, big deep breath. Feel those ribs expand against the shoulders. And then exhale, let the breath out. Come back to your belly and push yourself up to sit. I don't know where the time went today. We're buzzing through this. Okay. You're going to bend your left knee. Bring the left sole of your foot to the right inner thigh. You might want strap for this set of one. So especially if your hamstrings are tight, it makes it a little bit easier to get into the forward fold. If you've got a strap, go for it. If not, you can just hold on to your leg or your foot. I want you to be able to inhale, extend your spine, get really long, and then exhale, fold over that leg. Tailbone is back, chest reaches forward. Think of that, where your hips are, like the spine of a book. You're trying to get 2 straight things, a straight-ish leg and a straight-ish spine, to come toward one another, instead of rounding into this and then putting more tension in the upper back. Whenever I get into this position, I like to do a little twist too, so you can feel free to do that. Left hand would kind of come to the outside of the right leg. Oh, twist a little bit to the right. And then you feel this left low back open up, or maybe you just get a different stretch in the back of the right leg. Big deep breath in there. And then exhale, go ahead, come up. Okay, so you might keep this left foot exactly where it is. Some of you might be able to put this left ankle on top of the right leg. So A, I want you to kind of flex this left ankle. B, I want you to kind of flex this right quad so that you don't have a bony ankle pushing into a bony upper leg. You've got some muscles working there. Now, we're going to do that little shoulder stretch that we did before. This is where you might want to strap it. You're going to take that left hand, thumb points down, whoop, swing it behind your back. Right hand's going to find those left fingers, and pull, gently pull. Some of you might take your strap, loop it around your left foot, and then hold it with your left hand. Yeah, if you didn't bring a strap, you might be able to grab your right elbow with your left hand and hold your left foot with your right hand. Big deep breath in. Are you actually breathing? Yeah, feel those ribs move against the arms. If you've got space, you might fold forward. If your left hand just hold, some of you Gumby-like gals might be actually able to get that left foot to hold that left hand. Go for it. No, left hand to hold the left foot. Go for it. But if you've got the strap or your foot, You might be able to take your right hand and reach for your right foot and fold here. Remember, activate this right leg so you don't end up with an ankle-shaped bruise pushing into the top of that in this fold. Good, take a big deep breath in here. Exhale, come up, release, shake out that arm. Pick up that left foot, just put it on the ground, kind of bring it in as close to your left hip as you can get it, and then hold on to that leg and just sit up tall. Feel like your left butt can drop towards the floor. And then we're going to twist away from it. Right hand behind, left hand kind of pushes into the right leg, elbow pushes into the left leg, twist. Take a big deep breath in here. Ooh, and then come out of it. Let's just switch sides. Left foot forward. Right sole of the foot comes to the left inner thigh. You're going to sit up tall. So first we're just going for the straight fold. Line your body up with that left foot. Decide if you want to use your strap or not. Long spine. You can side me a little bit here. I'm getting really tall, and then I'm just trying to hinge this way. There's going to get to a point where you're round, but you want to go as far as you can, staying long. Drawing your belly button up toward your spine, just like you did in those forearm planks, can actually help. You might feel stretch through the back of the left leg. It might be somewhere over on this right outer hip or right low back too. Taking that little twist. If you did it on the other side, just twist left, kind of using your right hand to create a little torque so you can look to that side. And then go ahead and come up. So again, option. You can leave this left foot here. No, your right foot. You can pick the right foot up, put it on top of that left quad, that left thigh. Sit up tall. Maybe you're using a strap, looping it around your foot. You're going to take, wherever that foot is, you're still going to take this right arm out to the side, turn your thumb down, bring it behind your back. Left hand is going to find that right wrist and see if you can't ease that arm a little further behind you, grabbing strap, foot, or elbow, sitting up tall, same thing. You kind of use that arm to keep the spine long as you fold and see what you can reach. Again, if you're having a hard time breathing while sitting up, stay up. It gets even harder to breathe when you go forward. Just take 3 breaths here. And then you're coming up. We're gonna release the strap. Just put that right sole of the foot on the ground. Get it in as close to your hip as you can get it. And then use your right arm. Kind of hug that in. Sit up tall. Take a couple breaths. Kind of feel the belly press against the thighs when you breathe. And then we're going to do that little twist. Left hand's coming behind. Right arm is going to kind of push into the inside of that right knee. Maybe hook onto the outside of the left leg and see if you can pull yourself into that open twist. So we're kind of twisting away from the bent leg. Go ahead, unwind. Stretch both legs out long. You're going to find the middle of your yoga mat so you've got enough space. Lay down on your backs. Once you get here, arms out wide to the side. Just windshield wiper your knees a little bit. Kind of rolling out the hips. And then come to center. You're going to pick up that right leg, stretch through the right heel, and then just kind of deposit that right heel towards the corner of your mat. Pick up your left leg, stretch through the left heel, and then deposit that left heel on the corner of the mat. Let's take the hands. Have your 2 thumbs touch each other, and then your 2 index fingers touch each other. So it kind of makes like a little diamond triangle type shape. And then just rest those low on the belly. Let your elbows fall towards the floor.
Take a big deep breath in, feel the belly expand. Exhale, let the breath out. Belly recedes. Do 2 more of those. Inhale. Feel like you breathe into that space created in your hands. They expand. And then as you exhale, everything descends towards the floor. 1 more. And then you're going to let your arms drop by your side. Palms face up. All effort or intention of effort, just let it go. Just let your body rest on the floor. Shavasana, that final resting pose, is very easy for some people. Ooh, out. If Shavasana kind of turns on that place in your brain where it's like, oh, yoga class is almost over, I can start thinking about my next thing. Pull yourself back in. Remember that intention that you set, that anchor. There's only a few moments left in this practice. So just try to give yourself the permission to stay in it for a few breaths longer.